as soon as that's not very nice. That is a very unkind way of letting me know that our mics are hot. You son of a bitch. Oh shit, we're live. I gotta spit my gum out. Hey everybody. Welcome to Let's See Where This One Goes with Josh Beard, me, and Kyle King, him, the guy who flipped me off when he did the countdown telling us that our mics were gonna be hot.
First of all, you have no proof that that actually happened.
I have proof. I'm literally recording right now so I can record our audio, but I'm also recording our display just in case you do shit like that. And so I have the recording of you flipping me off. And if I need to, I'll clip it and put it on Twitter so everybody will side with me and say, you know that there's that Twitter account, hashtag AITA, am I the asshole? I'm going to send that to am I the asshole for thinking this guy flipped me off, and everybody's gonna say no, Kyle's the asshole, clearly, obviously. Anyway, hey everybody, what has it been, 2 weeks since our last episode? We did not get to do an episode last week because I had a pretty major event at work that was going on, and we could have recorded. In full disclosure, we could have done it, but I was super exhausted by the time it was over, and I'd worked all weekend, so I decided not to do that.
Yeah, and you know what? Having a super exhausted Josh Beard do a show, not my favorite time to do a show with super exhausted Josh Beard.
Fair, and also not my favorite time to do a show whenever with a super exhausted Josh Beard. I always feel like, I'm not good most of the time anyway, but I feel like I'm especially bad whenever I'm tired. But we're doing it in doing this episode, I just need everybody to know, in doing this episode, we are officially remember in the first episode, I said there was one person that said that they put the over under on episodes at 2.5 for us.
Yeah.
And with episode 3, we're officially beating that person's over under. They didn't think we would make it to 3 episodes. We've done it, guys. Congratulations.
Hey,
Great
look at
job
us.
by everybody. We did it. Okay.
Look at us.
That's the end of the show. Thank you so much. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna keep going. We got a cool topic, a fun topic to talk about. Not necessarily cool, because sometimes it can be a cool topic, and sometimes it can be a very not cool topic. But we're gonna lead off with neighbors, and I've got some fun neighbor stories that I want to throw in. But I know Kyle has been teasing his neighbor Karen story all week. And that's what we're going to start today. Is like we want to do a better job on the show, because the whole point of Let's See Where This One Goes is to have a topic and then just go and see where we end up. So we're going to try to do a better job of tracking where we go in the conversation. So we're starting with neighbors. That's our topic for tonight. Specifically, Kyle's Karen neighbor, or neighbor Karen? Karen neighbor?
Neighbor Karen is what I've been calling her.
Karen neighbor, comma, neighbor Karen.
Okay.
Because her name is neighbor Karen, but her description is a Karen neighbor. So Karen neighbor. If this were an episode of Parks and if this were a TV show, it'd be Karen neighbor, comma, neighbor Karen.
Right.
Right.
Okay. I think you're making it a little complicated, but you know what? You've done that before. I would also like to point out that I am practicing safety while doing this podcast. I'm currently wearing a mask, because your life is precious to me, Josh, and I don't want to lose that.
Yeah, that's super fair. I don't think that it's not a computer virus, so I don't think that you, even if you were asymptomatic but had it, and I don't think you could give it to me over the internet. But I appreciate the extra caution in preparation for this show. I was extra cautious. I decided to inject myself with a little bit of sanitizer before the show started.
I hear that's not good, but I've also heard, what else do you have to lose?
Right, exactly. I've literally got nothing.
No,
nothing
besides a fantastic wife, great 2 kids, a job.
Yeah, I mean, that's all cool, but also I don't want to get COVID. So I just decided to inject myself with some sanitizer. It's working out super, super well so far. It twitched a couple of times, but we're good.
You know, I saw a meme before I jump into the neighbor Karen story. I saw a meme that said that if you would have told me that Kobe Bryant would die and Lysol and Clorox would have to come out and tell you to not inject their products into your body because the president said so, I would have told you there's no way Kobe's going to die.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, no, I say, yeah, Kobe, but both are happening, though. Like, what kind of world do we live in where both of those things have happened all in the same year? Have you thought about the timeline of 2020 yet? It's super depressing. Do that after the show.
Yeah, no, there's like 300 days of March, so no, I don't know if I want to do that. But let's go ahead.
Do you remember how real fast? Do you remember how we almost started a war? That was this year.
Oh, trust me, like every single day feels like a month in 2020.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it does.
That's how long 2020 feels like. It's just like you wake up and you're just like, what are we in? Like, I feel like Robin Williams sometimes jumping out of like Jumanji when he's got like all the hair and the beard. He's like, what year is it? And it's like, dude, it's still March.
I can't believe we're almost in May.
Oh my God, we are almost in May.
Yeah. So March took what a weird. This is how I've seen so many things before where it's like, this is how you know life is a simulation. But what a weird thing for March to feel like it lasted 3 years and April to go by in 2 days. April has flown by, but
right.
March lasted forever. Whatever. This is nuts. We're going to try not to talk about quarantine too much, obviously, because we've talked about it in the last 2 episodes. So I don't want to harp on quarantine things too much, but it's hard not to when that's it's our fucking life.
I know. It really is. But may I interest you in a Karen story, Josh?
Dude, you can always interest me in a Karen story.
Okay. So Karen and I finally had it out. Like, those of you guys who follow me on my social medias and everything, pointing out Karens has kind of become my thing. Well, apparently, like, the boss of Karens, like, lives in my neighborhood, and I had to have this argument. So here's what happened, okay? It's Wednesday. I'm taking the trash out, right?
Does she wear a name tag? I had to ask. I'm sorry. I know that's, like, bad form to interrupt you, but, like, I need to know if Boss Karen wears a name tag.
Oh, no. But her hair is extra poof.
That's
You have to judge the Karen by the poof of her hair. So
you can see the roots even more through the highlights.
And Karen can't go and get a haircut right now, so it's tough for her.
Shit. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
So I'm taking I'm sorry, it was actually Tuesday, because Wednesday night is garbage night. So I'm taking my trash out to the curb, right? And I live on a corner. So my house is right next to a stop sign. Okay? As I'm taking the trash out, my wife is standing in the driveway and she's holding our baby girl, Monica Rose. I put the trash, I'm in the street putting the trash out, when all of a sudden, this car, man, comes up to the stop sign and thus just completely disregards it. Like, there was no slow down and kind of like give the quick look and roll through. I'm talking just
fucking gone.
Right, like just nope, not even gonna look. See you later.
The definition of going for it.
Right,
it's like the '90s cartoon theme song of driving through the stop sign.
Right. So as this is happening, I'm by my curb watching her do this. So she turns, and I just point to the stop sign, and I go and I say, "There's a stop sign right there." Karen slams on her brakes.
No way.
Reverses her car back to me, rolls her passenger side window down, and looks at me and she goes, "Do you have something to say?" And I went, "Yes, I do. There's a stop sign right there. You need to stop at it." She then goes, "I don't give a fuck. Are you a fucking cop?"
Whoa.
And I go,
super aggressive.
Right. And I go, "No, I'm not a cop, but my neighbor across the street is. Maybe we should go talk to him." I don't give a fuck about him. My brother's a cop. I don't fucking care. Throws my brother's a cop there, at which point I respond to her, "Well, if your brother's a cop, you should know to stop at stop signs."
I just what if you called her on that? Like, okay, we'll get your brother here. Well, he lives in Canada, and nobody knows him, so he can't come right now. But he'll email you later.
He goes to a different city. You probably never heard of him.
He goes to a different stop sign, and he's not at this one. And he won't come around here either.
Right. So my wife then, who is standing in the driveway. Now, mind you, I'm also now in the driveway too, but my wife is up, towards the front of the driveway, and she goes, "Excuse me, ma'am." She goes, "There's a lot of children and parents in this neighborhood who ride their bikes and go walking around here. You could hit somebody not stopping. She looks at my wife and she goes, I don't give a fuck about kids. They shouldn't be in the effing street.
Whoa.
Right.
This is the most aggressive Karen of all. Now, Karens by nature are aggressive beings, right? They're aggressive creatures already. But this sounds like you ran across. Have you ever played Ark?
No.
Did you ever play that game?
No.
So in Ark, so the whole point of Ark, I'm going to describe this video game to like people who, like 90% of the people watching probably don't care, but it'll make sense when I explain it. So in Ark, it's a survival video game. You go on this island and you create like a fortress and you gather supplies, but there's dinosaurs on the island. And you'll go against like a T-Rex, and you can level up, and you can get pretty tough. You can get tough enough to fight a T-Rex. But if you ever come across an alpha T-Rex, you're fucking done. This was you coming across the alpha T-Rex. This was the alpha Karen, is what it seems like. Like, obviously, Karen's aggressive. This one seems like the most hyper-aggressive Karen of all time.
Oh. I haven't even scratched the surface of this.
Oh God, there's more. But it's like that's like the epitome of but wait, there's more.
So, as Karen is like just throwing her F-bombs and getting all pissed, I take a picture of her license plate, okay?
Oh, yes.
So, Karen, after I take the picture, exchanges a few more FUs, whatever, and I'm just like, okay, see you later. She takes off down the street, goes around the corner of the neighborhood, right? Or around the corner. So, I'm sitting there in my driveway still going, should I call the cops? I was like, because you know what? I again, with me living on that corner, I've had people treat that side street, that entrance, like a drag strip, doing burnouts and stuff. And I've called them before, and they've just been like, look, we can't do anything unless we actually see it. So I was like, you know what? I don't really care. I am not going to waste the cops' time. However, we do have a neighborhood Facebook group. And I will absolutely 100% shame the living hell out of her in that Facebook group, okay? Now, as I'm in my driveway, I'm leaned over the trunk of my car. And I'm typing in, like, I'm trying to, like, figure out what I'm going to say in this Facebook group. As I'm doing this, my wife is talking with me, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, as we're talking, my wife gives me this little nod like, heads up, big guy. I turn around, Josh, and Karen has driven back to my house. She now has some dude in the passenger seat with her.
What?
She has now got her little stupid phone out doing this, like she's taking video and pictures of me, and Karen goes, I just want to let you know I just called the fucking cops on you. I went, like, without missing a beat, I just went, thank you for saving me a call?
Why did you bring the guy?
So, I'll get to that.
Oh, shit.
So, she just starts in again with the whole F you and this and that.
Time out. You telling this story, it's like that scene from The Office with Michael. Whenever everybody's like, what is it? Pam's like, Michael finally has a story we all want to hear, and he knows it. And he's going to tell us every single detail. That's what I feel like. You know this is a story we want to hear. And so you keep leading into all these parts slowly, and it's killing me internally. Oh, I need you to know that.
That's fine. First of all, trying to kill you has been a day one goal. Let's not act like that's not a thing.
That's wrong. I feel I'm a little hurt.
You literally led off this show talking about you were injecting disinfectant.
Yeah, I don't want it to get the corona COVID.
Josh, that's not. You know what? That's not how it works. But we'll
I don't want to get kung flu, man. What?
It's okay. It's okay.
All right.
So,
I'm just saying I can use sunlight too. I'm sorry. Continue.
Karen tells me she's called the cops on me. I tell her thanks for saving me a call. Right. This woman just, look, she just keeps going off. I don't know exactly what she said at this point because...
Did you start recording her back?
No, I don't.
I would have immediately been like, you're on candid camera, bitch, and then started recording.
Well, I already had her license plate. Right. So F words get exchanged. At this point, I literally look at her and I go, okay, I look forward to the cops showing up. I can't wait to tell them this story. Bye, Karen. Have yourself a wonderful day. She gives me an F you and starts driving off. Meanwhile, she sticks her arm out the window. The dude sticks his arm out the window, and they both give me the bird as she drives off. And I am now like in the street going, "Bye, Karen."
Could that dude be any more of a beta?
Oh.
Like I'm not usually into like the alpha beta thing, but to me, like if I were to be into that kind of talk, I feel like that's the exact definition of a beta. It's just being like he's just there, he says nothing, he does nothing, but then he flips the bird because that's what she's doing as they're driving away. What a garbage dude! What an even more garbage Karen. The alpha Karen experience, man. So is she a neighbor? Like a neighbor? So you said neighbor.
For you?
Did your stream stop, or is it starting back up again?
I don't know.
Oh, why are you opening Audition?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
God, yeah, just what I was getting. Oh,
you're getting into the good part too.
And I bet you it stopped on Facebook. No,
Facebook,
we're still live. We're still live on Facebook.
Facebook usually does. We might be live again. We should be live again on Twitch, or Twitter might have been. Twitter might be kaput.
We're still here. We're still on Facebook.
We made it back, guys. I was singing to myself. I was terrified. I didn't like being alone. Kyle left me as usual. It says we're live on Twitter. We're good.
Okay, we're good.
Look at that. All right, we're good. All right.
Fantastic.
All right.
I got scared for a moment, okay?
The universe is against us doing this podcast because they know just how hugely successful it's going to be if it continues.
Oh, for sure. Like making millions upon millions
right.
of the dollars.
And we will literally shame everybody that we come across in our lives.
It's just Karen trying to keep me down.
Lots of Karens.
So,
see, that's go ahead. I want to explain my definition of a Karen because
we'll get
I tried
to that. Let me just tell this story.
Karen. Yeah.
So
finish this story.
So as Karen leaves the second time, I then post in our Facebook group, I say, and this is the exact post. Mind you, I absolutely posted her license plate in this post. Because I was like, you said you don't effing care about kids. You're a terrible person. Everybody should know what your car is, so that way...
Kyle, your internet...
Am I in and out?
Your internet went out again. Yeah, you're good. You're good now. It just lagged for a second for me.
So... here's what I posted.
Facebook post. No more internet interruptions.
I say, hello, black Toyota that didn't stop for the stop sign on, and I give the cross street. I didn't catch your name, but I did catch your license plate as you decided to back up and yell at me for asking you to stop at the sign so you don't hit someone. Really enjoyed our brief conversation where you told me you don't give an F about stopping. I also loved the tidbit where you said your own brother is a cop. If that is the case, I'm sure he loves that you're throwing that around like it lets you do whatever. I'm going to ask you very nicely, moving forward, would you please be kind enough to stop at stop signs, look both ways to ensure you are not about to run over the children or adults that may be out riding bikes or walking. Your neighbors would really appreciate it. Thank you. Bonus content. As I was writing this, you and some dude just rolled up on me, my wife, and our 1-year-old daughter to tell me that you called the cops on me. I look forward to them showing up. Have a blessed day, neighbor. Now.
Did she comment on it? Please tell me she commented on it.
No, she didn't.
Oh, so, damn it.
I then go inside. My wife and I go inside. I then go ahead and get my daughter all bathed. Like I did bath time. My wife lays her down. I go and I take a shower. My wife and I have like a 20-minute conversation of like, that was crazy today.
Yeah, like I feel like my wife and I have that once a week about something. It's the what the fuck was that conversation?
Right. So as we're doing, then I decide like, you know what? I'm gonna go downstairs, play some video games. I get downstairs, and as I start to play, all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. My wife, who is upstairs studying, like Roadrunner from from the cartoons runs downstairs where there's a smoke trail behind her because she's like, I'm not missing out on this shit.
Just a trail of fire on the carpet.
Right.
Just burn out upstairs where she's just like.
So we are now downstairs talking to the cop, right? And the officer introduces himself and he goes, I'm sure you guys know why I'm here. And I went, yes, I have been expecting this and I've been looking forward to it. So the officer, so I start telling him, like, I go, I can't wait to tell you what really happened because I'm sure what she told you happened did not match up. And he goes, all right, well, let me hear it. So I start telling him about what I just told you. And he goes, when I get to the whole, like, I go, yeah, then she told me her brother's a cop and doesn't care. He goes, yeah, she said she saw your Facebook post and didn't know where you got that from. And my wife immediately goes, he got it from her mouth because that's what she used to say it with.
Oh, God, that's fucking gold. Your wife is awesome.
The officer starts to laugh about it. So he laughs. He then goes, and then I go, he was like, well, she said that, you know, she's really tired because she was just getting off of work and she's a medical professional. At which point my wife goes, I'm a nurse and I've been working on the front lines. I don't want to hear it. I don't drive like an asshole.
Hold on. Fucking, what a shitty excuse.
Right.
Like not a shitty excuse. Not a shitty excuse. What a shitty way to use that excuse.
Right.
What a shitty you get to use the I'm a medical worker excuse to treat another human being like a piece of garbage, cuss them out, do something dangerous like running through a stop sign as fast as possible, backing up, yelling at that person, leaving, grabbing someone, coming back, berating them again, and flipping them off as they drive away. And then you're like, I'm a medical professional. Like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
I'm gonna use my veteran status like that all the time. I'm just gonna walk up and throw apples at people at the grocery store and be like, whoop, I'm a veteran.
I'm a veteran.
You can't touch me. Like,
oh my God, I'm a grocery store worker right now. Does that mean that, like, I can literally take candy from babies and just be like, yes. I'm an essential worker.
I'm an essential worker. Like, I have the utmost respect for people that are out there in the medical profession. And that's not at all, I don't want to downplay that at all because those guys are all awesome. And if this person actually is that and isn't like a dental hygienist or some shit like that, like then the utmost respect for the job that you do. But I'm also going to say, don't be a shitty human being.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a surgeon and you just saved the life of a 4-year-old who was dying from, like, some kind of heart failure, that's awesome that you did that. And I have a lot of respect for that. And you're cool for being so good at what you do that you saved that 4-year-old. But also, you don't get to be a piece of shit to other people outside of your job. That's not, like, those things are not mutually, or, like, those things don't have to, like, they don't go together. Those are mutually exclusive activities.
Do you think trauma surgeons, like, after they save somebody's life from, like, a drive-by shooting or something, just gets to go to the bank later that day and be like, give me all of your money. I'm a medical professional and I saved someone's life so I can do this.
I mean, don't doctors already kind of do that anyway? I'm just kidding. Oh, sorry. Okay.
So we're
shitty
not
excuse.
done.
That makes me so mad. Oh, so we're still not done?
We're not done.
Holy shit.
As he's like informing me of her side. Here was the other thing. Okay. She also has an app on her phone that reports her driving to her insurance company, and it says that she definitely stopped at that stop sign.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
my God.
I tell the officer about, like, no, she absolutely didn't. Otherwise, I would not have said anything. Like, this was not in my plans tonight. I didn't just pick out a random car and be like, you know what? I want to get into it with them.
Although, okay, hear me out. I could totally see you being someone who, for fun, would stand at a stop sign and just yell at everybody running, like passing through that stop sign. Just be like, stop sign. Not even necessarily because they drove through it, just going, stop sign. And just be like, there's a stop sign there.
While like in my bathrobe.
Yeah. Or somebody stopped at the stop sign. You're just like, stop at the stop sign. Just like, I am. And you're just like, I know, but keep doing it.
So as the officer finishes up and everything, I mean, you know, he was just like, hey, you know, when stuff like this happens, go to our website, report it, blah, 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 blah. We can, like, and he was very helpful. He was like, look, if you report it and you get some of your neighbors to do that as well, we can send motorcycle cops out here from the time that it happens, so that way they can kind of be on guard. And I was like, all right, cool. Awesome.
That's cool.
Thank you for being here. Sorry, officer, that your time got wasted tonight. See you later, right? So he leaves. My wife and I start laughing as soon as we shut the door, like, I can't believe that happened. My wife goes back upstairs to continue studying because, you know, my wife decided that raising a 1-year-old, having a 1-year-old husband mentality, and going to work full time wasn't enough. She also decided to continue going to school during a pandemic. So she goes upstairs to study. I go out on the patio because I'm like, I'm going to let the dogs run around. I like being out there. It's a great night. I call my friend Karina because you weren't available because you were off being a good dad and husband.
I was, which by the way, we need to talk about whenever you wanted to call me and tell me the story, and I couldn't because we were watching a TV show or a movie or something. We have to talk about the comment that you made about me and what I look like and what you told our buddies B-Mac and Joe George. But we'll get to that after this story because I told my wife what you said and she laughed.
So I'm on my patio. And I make another Facebook post because I had people on the original Facebook post in the neighborhood group going, so did the cops show up? Oh my God, you can't leave us hanging.
Got a live tweet or live Facebook it. I don't know.
So I responded back again. Here is the exact thing that I said on Facebook. I said, oh, hold on. That is not the right one. Here we go.
Quit pulling up porn and read the Facebook post.
Don't
God.
you dare tell me how to live my life, sir. Okay. So, I said, update on the black Toyota who doesn't stop at stop signs. The Fort Bend Sheriff's Office did come to my house. By the way, Karen, I know you're in this group and saw my post. The pleasant officer told me you saw it. We had a lovely chat with him about this evening's event. Your version was super interesting. It was wrong, but it was interesting. I really hope you will be more. Then I took a page out of like any bitchy email I have ever sent in my life, and I go, I really hope you will be more aware of stopping at stop signs and being committed to keeping our neighbors safe. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I hope you have a safe and blessed evening.
You should start out as previously noted in a former post.
Per my last Facebook post.
Per my last Facebook post.
So I post that, right? 30 minutes later, Josh. 30 minutes later,
man.
My wife calls me and she goes, "Are you still outside?" And I went, "Yeah." "Why?" She goes, "The officer just came back to the house."
What?
And I go, "Seriously?" And she goes, "Yeah, he just pulled up. He's about to walk up to the door." So I go back inside. My wife comes downstairs. Cop knocks at the door. I open the door. And the officer looks at me and he goes, "Hello."
This poor guy. I feel bad kind of for y'all, but I'm the person I feel the most bad. Two people feel the most bad for in this story. Your wife, because she was trying to get shit done. And this poor police officer whose night was being wasted.
Right. So he goes, "Hello.
Hello.
Are you posting on Facebook?" And without missing a beat, Josh, I go, "All the time." And he just goes, "So she saw your post again on Facebook and called me back out here."
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on.
Yes. She called the cops a second time because I posted about it on social media, Joshua Beard.
You said you took a picture of the license plate?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to send that to me. We're just gonna leave it at that.
So
this person, this like I know, like we're joking around and we'll continue to joke around, but like people like this, just it makes me so furious that they waste resources, they waste government officials, they waste police officers because they think their lives are so fucking important that they need to call and get the police to answer to a Facebook post. God forbid they read the fucking Constitution of the United States, where we have freedom of speech, where we can talk about essentially most anything we want on any forum that we want, as long as we're not slandering people. But then to call a police officer about a fucking Facebook post, are you kidding me? Oh, water went everywhere. I don't even care. I'm so angry that she called the cops over a fucking Facebook post.
So the cop is just like, he's like, he goes, I read the post to him verbatim.
Wow.
I read the post to him and he goes, yeah, that's why she called. She doesn't know what a Karen is. Her daughter had to explain it to her, and she doesn't think that she's a Karen. And I went, no Karen ever thinks that they are. The cop just starts laughing, dude, and he goes, oh, trust me, I know what a Karen is, and yeah.
Okay, so like Karens are like that one friend, right? Like every group of friends has that one friend. And it's just like the friend that everybody kind of makes fun of and everybody jokes about. And if you don't know who that friend in your group is, right? The saying is, if you don't know who that friend in your group is, that means you're that friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is for Karens in society. Like if you don't know who a Karen is, it's because you're probably a Karen.
You're the Karen.
You're the Karen. Yeah. So
she called the cop. Now, let me just recap. She called the cops on me the first time because I had the audacity to tell her to stop at a stop sign. She then called the cops a second time because I posted on Facebook. Needless to say.
I don't know which one makes me angrier, man.
Oh, definitely the Facebook post.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Facebook post. Like, I just can't stand people and their lack of logic. Like, not being like to think they're so god awfully important that they. It's. I know I have people in my life that are like this, and I'm not going to throw them under the bus. Normally, for content's sake, because it would be hilarious, I would throw them under the bus. But this person that I'm thinking of is very specifically sensitive, and. He or she will probably never listen to this, but just on the off chance that he or she does, this shit would hit the fan. But there are people that just think that the world revolves around them and their lives, and they can't get past their own egomaniacal, narcissistic tendencies where they think that their life is a movie and everybody else is just a supporting character in the movie of them. Like that's there are these people where they're like, I'm the main star of my movie, and everybody else is just Shia LaBeouf. I am Jennifer Aniston, and everybody is Joey Fatone. I don't know why I picked fucking Joey Fatone. It's like I am Justin Timberlake and everybody else is Lance Bass. Like we're just gonna go in sync.
You know what it is?
It just kills me, man.
Josh, you know what it is? Like our society these days, like I don't mean to get all philosophical and everything, but our society, one, we haven't been told no enough in our lives.
Oh.
Second of all,
yeah.
Our society has a total me mentality. It's me.
Says,
me. It's all about me and screw you. No, like we need a we mentality. Like, dude, look at where we are right now. We have people getting pissed off about wearing frickin' masks during a pandemic.
People being pissed off that just my freedoms are being taken. Imagine the forefathers with this, like listening to this speech. My freedoms, the Constitution of the United States of America means that I get to live in a free country where my rights aren't infringed upon. My rights aren't taken away, where I get to have the same inalienable rights that everybody else has, where everybody else can live the life that they want with the money and the finances that they want, work the job that they want, marry whoever they want, have as many kids as they want. Why can't I go get my hair cut? like it's just like, what? He's like, imagine the absolute, like, George Washington walks into that speech and he's like, well, they just murdered my best friend over T-Tax. But yeah, sure, fucking get your hair cut. Wear wigs. Why aren't y'all wearing wigs? What's going on with you guys?
Like, dude, I was saying this the other day. Like, our great grandparents went through the Depression. They went through 2 freaking world wars.
Yep.
Yet we're over here getting mad about having to wear masks in public for 30 days. Like, if you are sitting there getting upset over having to wear a mask for 30 days while a pandemic is going on, while there's a virus out there that has no known treatments, no vaccinations, don't you dare start in with.
Well, but if you inject disinfectant,
no, Josh,
I hear it cleanses your blood. If you take watch, just listen for 2 seconds. If you take Lysol and you put it out in the sun for a little bit, let it soak in that UV rays,
right,
and then just inject it straight into your arm. Blood cleanser. Works every time.
No, you know what? Actually,
everything I see, I'm colorblind now, which is, I didn't expect that, but I don't have COVID.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, thank God for that.
You know what? If you actually do end up injecting that stuff, it will absolutely cure everything. You'll be dead,
yeah,
but you won't have it anymore.
So my kids are awesome, right? Like, I cannot wait until you get to the point to where, like, you get to enjoy children as they start to become their sarcastic selves, because your daughter is absolutely going to be every bit as sarcastic as you and your wife, because my daughter and my son are there. And so the best thing in the world is when we're watching TV and some stupid commercial about, like, Rexulti or something else comes on, and it's just like, you're going to have spastic diarrhea and you might go blind, but you won't have diabetes anymore. It's like, wait, the diabetes was already going to make me blind. I get to choose to go blind or go blind. I don't want those aren't 2 choices. And so it's like, the kids, we'll put it on mute. And literally, my son's 9, my daughter's 11. We'll just let them fully ad-lib roll on it and just be like, my son was like, you're going to crap out of your butthole all over the house, but you won't be diabetic anymore. Literally poop every day for the rest of your life all over the house, but no more diabetes.
Taking this medication could give you anal leakage, blood clots,
yeah,
massive diarrhea, juvenile diabetes, regular diabetes, mass hysteria, paranoia.
I just want
itchy skin. However, you won't have eczema anymore.
Hold on, I'm going to Google side effects of Rexulti, because that's the commercial that we keep seeing on Hulu whenever we watch stuff. And it's like, where is it? Here we go. Common side effects of Rexulti include, where is it? Stop. Weight gain, agitation, distress, just general distress.
General distress.
Yeah. So Rexulti's it's an antipsychotic and antidepressant, which it's not funny to laugh about that.
Hold on. And we're not laughing about that.
We're not laughing about that. We're laughing about the side effects of the medication. But weight gain, agitation, distress, restlessness, constipation, fatigue, stuffy or runny nose. And I like how the side effects always increase. It's just like weight gain, and then it goes to tremors.
Hold on, I like that one. Stuffy or runny nose. Like, what if one nostril's stuffy and the other one's runny? Like,
well, that's not the Rexulti then. It's either stuffy or runny.
Oh,
that can't
okay.
Be Rexulti. Increased appetite, headache, drowsiness, tremors, dizziness, anxiety. Your antidepressant causes anxiety. Anxiety causes depression. What the fuck? What is happening right now?
I don't know, man. God. Like, we live in a crazy time. And again, we live in a time where we can't even agree that we should be wearing masks to reduce the risk of catching and spreading a virus that has no treatments or no vaccination. It's insane to me. Like, dude, I started doing a mask on challenge. Okay, those of you listening to this and those of you watching this right now, we're on Facebook, we're on Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube. I started a Facebook challenge where, look, Harris County is about to do 30 days of mandatory masks, right? It's this, guys. It's got to cover your nose and your mouth. So I was like, you know what? To help promote this, because again, I live with a freaking nurse who is like, yeah, I wish more people would wear these. Mm-hmm. So I come up with like, hey, I'm going to go into my memorabilia, that my own personal stuff, and give it away in hopes to get people out there and wearing masks and everything. And wouldn't you know, the people who had to come in and comment are the ones who are like, I'm not going to be doing this. How about you put your money where your mouth is and you wear a mask? And it's like, first of all, I do every single day at work. Every day. All right. I do when I go out. I'm literally wearing a mask right now as we're talking because apparently 5G, and I don't want to take the chance that internet and Wi-Fi will give you corona, Josh.
Yeah, 5G goes out of, but that's why you inject the disinfectant straight into your internet connection.
The views of Josh Beard do not represent the views of, let's see where this one goes.
Yeah, like, I mean, look, we live in it. We live like if nobody's ever read Aldous Huxley's Brave New World, you need to absolutely go read it. Everybody talks about 1984 and the Orwellian future. It's not. It's Aldous Huxley's Brave New World that's more the trajectory of where we've been, which obviously it's not exactly what we are, but essentially, like, it's all about consuming celebrity and consuming TV. That's what our society is. That's what our society's become, and fully meaning to become philosophical, because I love getting philosophical. We're a society that we take the time and the energy in our lives to go and get people to sign petitions when TV shows go off the air. Which, look, there have been some great TV shows that I've really enjoyed and I've really loved. But think about the thought process behind. I have a family, I have children, I have a job, I have all these other things, I have bills, I need to pay those bills, so I need money, and I need to work my job to get that money. There's other things I can go do, things that I could do for my kids, with my family. But instead of doing all of that, I'm going to start this petition on petition.org because I want to bring Ren and Stimpy back, and I'm going to spend the next 16 hours of the next 2 days trying to bring Ren and Stimpy back on the air.
Did you know that they brought Ren and Stimpy back for a short time?
I did. That's why I used that.
Oh my God, it was awful. Look, I used to watch Ren and Stimpy when I was a kid. Like, that was the cartoon that, like, my dad used to watch with my brother and I. We loved it. You know, all the dances, like, you idiot. We loved it.
You idiot. Then, my favorite one is the what is it? One of the big fat guys that they follow whenever they do like the Animal Planet version of watching the big fat guys, and they try to win over they do the burping contest over the female. Right. The Lummox, that's what it is. They call them the Lummox, and the two big fat Lummox men do the burping challenge over the girl.
I always liked the horse who would be like, "No, sir, can't say that I liked it."
Yep.
We used to say that all the time. So then, so that was like when I was a kid. Then it went away, and okay, fine, things happened. But then, like, I think it was when I was in middle school or early high school, they brought it back on I want to say like TNT or something. For it was like Ren and Stimpy's Adult Time Hour, and oh my God, was it an adult time show? Like,
yeah,
my brother and I and my dad were all looking at each other like, this is not good. The same thing.
Oh yeah, it was, but see, like, we live in a society where people will put their energy into bringing stuff like that back. It's I guess the for lack of a better term or lack of a better analogy, it's the member berries from South Park. That's like, everybody wants the nostalgia. They don't want things to change. They want to live in the comfortable little world that they live in. And anytime anybody tries to change that, they get really, really aggressive. They get very, very aggressive because change is terrifying and change is scary. And I get that. And then you couple that with the me mentality that you were talking about, and it's this perfect storm of like, nobody needs to change what I want to do because What I want is more important than what anybody else. Screw all of these people who could die from this thing. Even though I'm relatively young and I'm a pretty healthy person. I don't have any of these conditions that would make it worse for me if I got the coronavirus. So if I got it, whatever, it's fine. I have a fever. I get over it. I'll be okay. But they're not thinking about the people that they pass it to, that passes it to one person, that passes it to the next person, that passes it to their grandfather, and then their grandfather dies. Like, they don't think about that. And people never think, like, when you talk about the healthcare system and sickness and stuff like that, people don't really understand the ramifications implications of those things until they have to go through that process.
For sure.
Me mentally, I didn't understand how important health insurance was and things like that until we had kids. And then I forgot about it because I was in the military and it was all free. And so it didn't really register. And then when my wife had to have surgery a few years ago and we had to pay out of pocket for it, oh shit, I got a crash course in what it means to have good health insurance. And we still had to pay a lot of money, and we had relatively good health insurance because it was when it was still well, not Entercom, but when it was CBS radio.
Yeah.
And so it's like people just don't care. It's the I don't want to change because everything's perfect and this is the way I want it to be.
Don't inconvenience my lifestyle because you want to be healthy. And I can't tell you how inconsiderate it is to hear people go, I'm not going to wear a mask even when I go to the grocery store. It's like, first of all, do you really think that I want to wear this? I really, truly don't. I'll tell you one thing that absolutely sucks about wearing these masks, besides decreasing the risk of me getting sick. That's awesome. But what really sucks about these is I'm walking around in this all day long. It's constantly over my face. And what it's doing is it's drying out the inside of my nose. I have gotten so many just random freaking nosebleeds. I got a nosebleed the other day sitting on the toilet.
Just you should wear the mask, and the next time somebody's like, I'm not wearing a mask, just pull it down with a bloody nose and just be like, yeah, I don't want to either, and just take it off and start walking towards them.
Look, this is not fun. It's annoying. If I'm wearing my glasses fog up. Look, they're minor inconveniences. I get that. But I don't want to be wearing this crap either. But you know why I do? Because one, I don't want to get sick, and two, it would devastate me, Josh. It would devastate me if I knew that because I was being careless, I passed it to somebody and their grandfather or their grandmother or their child or their wife ended up getting sick and dying from it. Or just getting sick in general. It would crush me if I knew that. Now, it still would, but right now I can live with myself because I'm like, you know what? I'm taking every precaution I know I can.
Mm-hmm. So my wife and kids about 2 weeks ago, they went up to Burton because her grandparents have land up in Burton, and she wanted to go take the kids up there to take pictures with the bluebonnets and just get out of the house but be able to go out somewhere and still be distant and not around people. And so they went up to Burton, and they went up there, they went and hung out in the little house, and then they took pictures. They played with the horses, they took pictures of the bluebonnets. And my wife was wiping everything down, and her grandfather showed up. They didn't have masks. Or masks? What?
Masks?
They didn't have
They didn't have Damascus?
They didn't have masks. They didn't have gloves. And he showed up. Now, nope, they didn't hug. They didn't touch. They didn't come close. But I can't even begin to explain to you how emotionally distraught she was that she didn't know he was coming and didn't even think about the fact of what if he shows up and we don't have gloves or a mask on? What if I have this? What if I pass to him? Because he's in his late 70s, early 80s, and he's still going strong. He's really healthy for his age, but I mean, still, the older age, it affects them. So
remember, everybody's really healthy until they're not.
Right, exactly. You just never know. Okay, let's take it away from the philosophical downer stuff real fast. Your Karen story was amazing, and I love neighbor stories, and I've got a couple of my own. Do you want to hear about our neighbors, our group of neighbors that we were really good friends with that just completely shunned us out of the blue one day? Or do you want to hear about the neighbors whose friends I choked out in my basement?
Obviously the one you choked out in the basement. Like, what? Why wouldn't you lead with that?
Almost, because it was a surprise, and I wanted you to hear that one and be like, yeah! Obviously, it was a perfect setup. That's what we call that in this business, in the podcast business, Kyle. We call that the perfect setup. Okay, so my rule with neighbors, and my dad tried to teach me this at a really young age, is do not befriend your neighbors. Be cordial with them, be kind with them, be nice, wave, say hi, but do not become friends with your neighbors.
What about calling the cops on them twice in one night?
You can do that, especially for Facebook posts. He did tell me that, which is weird because Facebook wasn't even around when he had told me that. But I have broken this rule so many times. It has only paid off one time. We had friends who ended up watching our son. They were awesome. We're still friends with them today. They were our next door neighbors. But it was like literally a once in a lifetime situation where it just happened to be the right people living next to us. But 9 times out of 10, befriending your neighbors is a bad idea. So let's start off with this one. Whenever we first moved to Omaha, I got stationed out in Omaha, and we bought a house on base housing, and we had only been there. My wife and I, we didn't even have any kids yet, and we'd only been there for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And finally, I met our neighbors who lived across the street from us. Really cool guy. I don't remember his first name. Last name was Boudreaux. He was from Louisiana. So we kind of had that tie where it's like he was from Louisiana, I was from Texas. That's cool. That's awesome. We're both from at least relatively close to each other. And so you always find things to latch onto in the military where it's like, oh, you have this shared interest, or oh, you're from this state, which is close to mine, or it's the same state as mine, and you latch on from those interests.
I hate a certain burger chain too.
Right. We met because I was putting my new basketball goal together outside, and he came over and helped me, and then we started working on other stuff and drinking beers, and we became really, really good friends with them. My wife became friends with his wife. I became good friends with him. He had his friends over all the time who worked with him, and I became friends with them, and we drank with them every single weekend. It was awesome. It was so cool until they brought one friend home who I could not stand. He is one of those like lanky, kind of nerdy. Now looking back on it and knowing who I am now, I probably would have felt bad for him, and what probably wouldn't have bothered me. But at the time, I was 21. No, yeah, I was 21 when we were in Omaha, and he was just one of those guys who like boasted about everything. I did this. I was better at this. I'm better at this. I'm better. I did that. I do this. I know this person. I've done this. And it's just that kind of personality. Like, we've dealt with it a lot in radio, and I'm used to it now at this point. And when you get older, everybody has to deal with that, and so you get used to that. But it was my first time genuinely dealing with somebody like that, and I did not know how to deal with it. And he would talk shit about people behind their back, which was another thing that was relatively new to me, because I'm not somebody who's ever really done that, or at least I've tried not to. If I have, it's been completely warranted, and it's usually about somebody that could fire me. So I'm not going to say it to their face.
I was going to say BMAC is just.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, right station, wrong person. Person who runs that. Anyway, so I tend to not talk shit about people behind their back. It's just not. It's not been something that I do, and I tend to not really boast about a whole lot. Like, I'll jokingly name drop, or I don't like.
Oh, you will people. Name drop. You love to name drop.
I do love to name drop, but I don't boast about the things that I do. And when I do get to be a part of these awesome things, I usually try to put it off on other people, because I like being the center of attention. Like, obviously we're doing what we're doing, and there's still that, even though I try to fight it, there's that narcissistic me mentality, right? But it's more of, I like entertaining people. I enjoy talking. And so I do this kind of thing. And it's not necessarily like, here, tell me you love me. Because when people tell me how much they love me, it makes me very uncomfortable. Like, when people are like, thank you for your service, when they find out I'm a veteran, I'm like, I have underwear on.
You know what?
And I don't know how to I don't know how
really
to react
quick,
to
I'll
that.
let you get into that. My wife said the same thing yesterday. Again, my wife's a nurse, like she, on the way home from work last night, she really wanted something to drink. Like, she wanted, we were having happy hour last night. Like, we were having a date night. I got off of work. She got off work. She was like, I want something to drink, but I don't want beer. So she stops at a gas station and gets like some Jack Daniels Lynchburg lemonade coolers, right? But she was telling me that same thing. She goes, I'm in there. I'm getting that. She goes, and there was 2 guys in there as well. And they were just like, oh my God, you're a nurse. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Like, thank you very much. She goes, and it's just weird. She's like, I'm not. She was like, I'm not doing it for. She goes, I'm not doing it to like be thanked. I'm doing it because it's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. That's the when you get into a profession where people can do that, you're just like, I'm just doing my job. I don't know, because when people would be like, thank you for your service, I get so awkward every time, and like, you know how you do this thing where it's like, well, good morning. Like that's how I want to react to it. Is be like,
dude, people do it to me now. Like, I'll be at the grocery store and I'll help somebody with something. They'll be like, oh, hey, like, where can I find like an air filter? And it's like, oh, that's going to be on aisle 17. And they're like, okay, thanks. Hey, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Thanks for being here. And
how do you react?
I always feel like Brad Pitt's character. I forget the guy's name. It's been a while since I've seen it. Remember the movie Megamind?
Oh, yeah.
Remember, like, the Superman of that? Where, like, I always feel like that when somebody goes, hey, thank you for being here at the store and working every day. I feel like him going, thank you, random citizen.
Yeah, yeah. So the one thing I started saying is thank you for your support. So like that made it easy for me, so it wasn't
Nice.
awkward. So they'd be like, thank you for your service. I'm like, thank you so much for your support, because that's really what I felt deep down was thank you for your support. Anyway, so back to the person I choked out. So this guy was just the worst.
Yeah, thank you
He
guys for supporting me and thanks for being nice. Anyway, back to how I choked a dude out.
Yeah, my wife's first birthday, and this is where I really started to hate him. My wife's first birthday after she had moved away from Texas. She had never lived outside of Texas, had to move to California, and then got to move back to Texas for a little while I did some other training, and then we moved. That was about 6 months. Then we moved up to Omaha. So she left her family again, leaving her family part two, and it's her first birthday away from family. We couldn't come home, so I bought her a spa day. I planned like all this food to be catered. We filled our living room in our tiny base house with balloons. And it was just this awesome experience. And this guy was like, he literally during the party, I invited him because I invited everybody, and I felt like I had to. And this guy literally complained about everything. It's like, I don't like this kind of food. I don't like, where's the spicy mustard? I want the spicy mustard. I don't like this cake. I'm like, and the whole time I'm like, none of this fucking for you, man. Like, you're blowing my mind. I don't give a shit what you do and don't like here. This is not your birthday. It's her birthday. So fast forward a month later, because our birthdays are a month apart. It's my birthday, and we're in our basement. I had our ping pong table down there. We'd play ping pong, beer pong, darts, all sorts of stuff down in the basement. It was awesome. That's one of the things I loved about living in the Midwest, is having a basement space. And we're down there hanging out, and our neighbors and his wife walked across the street to go grab something, and he just starts talking shit about our neighbor's wife, which at this point we'd become pretty good friends with them. We'd been there for a few months. We're good friends with them. And my wife was just like, you need to shut the fuck up. And this is my wife.
Kara said that?
This is Kara PC Kara. This is pre-kids Kara, or I guess PK, pre-children Kara. And yeah, she could sometimes be an intense person. She is not like that now, but she is a very feisty person. And so he starts going off on her. And finally, I just couldn't take it anymore. I told him, I started yelling at him. We started exchanging words, and he told me to fuck off. And then I grabbed him by the throat, and I slammed him up against the wall and started lifting him up. And then everybody had to come pull me off. And he was like, I almost like knocked him out whenever I slammed him against the wall. And we lost all of those friends immediately. Even though my wife was defending our neighbor's wife from across the street. I was defending her and my wife, and the guy was already a prick. And they ended up, like, afterwards, they had to be like, yeah, we can't come over and hang out anymore because we love you guys, but we work with him. And so they chose him over us. And so that's the very first time I ever choked a neighbor out.
Wow. I hope you told them, well, you have just missed out on a wonderful and glorious friendship.
The other neighbors that we had in the last house that we lived in, I made the mistake of becoming friends with them. We became really good friends with the entire street. We lived on a cul-de-sac. There were a bunch of kids there. And so obviously, like, all the kids wanted to play and hang out. And we were like hanging out with them all the time. We were throwing joint parties together. We had this huge summer party, like end of school party, where we all rented like this water slide bounce house thing, and like we were all hanging out. And then my wife had surgery, the surgery I was talking about earlier. She had surgery, and after her surgery was done and she kind of recovered, I don't know what happened. We didn't talk to them because we didn't come outside. She was trying to recover. I was trying to take care of her. We had family coming over and trying to help out. They brought stuff over to us and things like that. But the best we can guess, because they stopped talking to us, they didn't ask us to do anything. They didn't have us over for stuff. No more 4th of July things, no more parties. The best we can guess is that because we think they didn't feel like they were adequately thanked for what they did while she was recovering.
It's the worst.
Even though I sent thank you cards, I said thank you to them every single chance I got, but I don't think they ever felt like they were adequately thanked by her. Even though it took her like 3 weeks to recover from this shit. And so, like, they just shunned us. Like, one of the guys across, again, it was neighbors across, never become neighbors with neighbors across the street, but it was neighbors across the street. He had fallen off of his truck, and he hit his head and, like, got real messed up. And we helped them take care of stuff. We helped the entire street help take care of him and figure stuff out for him as he rehabbed and recovered. And eventually, it's just like, they just shunned us. And so one of the big reasons why we moved into the house we're in now is because we felt like we were outcasts on the street, and it was very uncomfortable for like the last year we lived there, all because they didn't feel like they were adequately thanked, which is like the shittiest thing that you can do to anybody. Like people that need to be thanked are the worst kind of people. They're the ones that are like, I'm a giving person as long as you thank me. Like, fuck you. Be a giving person or don't. Like, don't do it because you need thanks or you need people to feel. Like, I hate that, man. I hate that so much. I have a really bad track record with neighbors.
This is why I'm actually glad. Like, you and I are really good friends. This is why I'm glad we have at least a 30-mile radius in between us.
Yeah.
So that way we can remain friends.
Yeah. I don't have a good track record, man. Like, our neighbors now are fine, but like,
dude, I had a neighbor one time when Carrie and I were living in our old townhouse before we moved into our house. We were living in a townhome, and the lady across the street, and I got to make this quick and go because Carrie just got home, and she just gave me this, which means go downstairs and make the pizza I've been looking forward to all day long.
Okay, you know what we need to try to do for podcast purposes while we're in the middle of one of these streams? Show Carrie the meme that's been going on about people walking in on their significant others playing video games or like doing something else and they walk in naked.
Yeah.
My wife has done that before. I'm trying to do it while I'm trying to get her to do it as the meme, and then that way we can swap stories and talk about it on the podcast.
Oh, trust me.
Maybe I'll just do it to her. I'm gonna do it to her.
Honest to God, if my wife were to do that, I would get off of this stream right
immediately.
Away.
It's not even. There's no question. Okay, here's the deal. That's too easy. Of course, if they did it and they took video of it, we'd get off immediately.
Josh, shut up. Good things are happening right now. Sup, hot stuff?
No way.
She just got home from work. Of course she is. But she also just got back from the hospital, so it's like, please go shower first.
Yeah, go shower first.
Please.
Here's the challenge. Before we end this, before you say what you're going to say and we end this, here's our challenge this next week before the next episode. You and I both have to do these videos. So we have to get naked while our wives are doing something and then walk in on them and see what their reaction is. And then we have to post it on Twitter and talk about it on next week's episode.
Okay. I'm down. Okay.
That's our challenge.
So here's the deal. Starting now, we have to have this done and on social media by Friday night.
By Friday night. Deal.
In fact, let's put a time on it. Hold on. By 11:59 p.m. Friday night.
Okay.
It has to be done and on social media.
Okay. Deal. I'm in on this. This is going to be the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened because I know exactly. I have a really strong feeling of what my wife's reaction is going to be, and I don't think it's going to be as positive as all the videos that I've seen before. I'm hoping it's really about like how hard is she going to laugh?
Yeah, mine is going to be more of like, please don't run away.
Don't call the cops on me. Oh, God.
Look, I actually got to humble brag about this earlier today in one of the group chats that I have. Is like, since quarantine, dude, look, I stopped drinking. I've started eating better. I constantly move around and lift stuff at the store all day long, and I started working out again. So like in a month and a half, I'm down 22 pounds right now. Like,
damn,
yeah, like it's really cool, man. Like it's a lot of fun.
I rolled in all of the sweat from those pounds dropping and gained all of that weight that you dropped because I've done the exact opposite. Actually, I've still been moving around, but my dietary scheduling has not been the best. What are you looking at? You're distracting me by being distracted.
Sorry, I'm looking at... Dude, my wife is walking around the bedroom naked, okay? Like, I'm gonna stop and look. I love that, okay? Like, look, proud husband here who likes being with his wife, so, likes getting into that mood, but,
can I bring up what you told me? What you told me in text whenever I wouldn't hop on the call with you the other night?
Yes.
When you said I was being a good dad? Okay, here's what Kyle told me. the other night, he wanted to call me and tell me the story, and I kind of didn't want him to tell me the neighbor Karen story of calling the cops on it because I wanted to hear it while we were doing this. And also I was watching something with the kids. I can't remember what it was. It was probably The Voice or something else. And I was watching it with the wife and kids. And I said, no, I can't do it right now. I'm watching TV with them. And he's like, God, why do you have to be a good dad? And then he said something along the lines of, full disclosure, I told BMAC and Joe when I first met you that you didn't really look like a guy who would be a good father. And like, I told my wife that, and she started laughing, and she goes, yeah, kinda.
Like, all right,
what do I look like?
So, well, one, you play video games, and you have a bubbly personality.
Right.
But I don't know. There's just something about you that always struck me as like, Josh is the kind of frat guy who would be like, oh, daughter's dance recital or all night gaming session? Yeah, let's play games.
That's terrible. I'm very close to, and you're not far off. You're really not far off.
But,
I think the thing that puts me on the good dad side is the fact that I didn't always have the best parents, and so I made a pact with myself a long time ago that I was going to enjoy all my time with my kids and never be like that.
And that's fantastic. Like, there have been times where it's just like, oh, like, especially before I had a kid, man. Like, before my wife was even pregnant. Like, I would get done, because, when we were doing the fantasy football show, I would try to, like, call you on, like, a Saturday night as I'm sitting on my back porch enjoying some fine green. I would try to, like, call you to be like, oh, man, I'm a BS with Josh. And I would call, and you just like, hey, man, is everything okay? Yeah, dude, I was just calling because this, and this. Okay. Well, hey, man, I'm playing video games with the kids right now, so I'm going to have to, like... And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. But you always do that. Like, you're always doing something with your family, and I'm just like, I am so glad that I was wrong about this guy.
Oh, that's what you said. You said it didn't look like a guy who would be a good family man.
Right.
Not a good father.
Like,
yeah, a good family man.
And there are times where, like, again, when I get the cops called on me twice in one night, where I go to call you and tell you some legendary shit, and you're just like, hey, man, I can't talk right now. I'm watching TV with Karen, and I'm getting the kids ready for bed. And it's just like, I forget how good of a family man you are.
I try to be because, like, the one thing I don't want, I know how my relationship is with my family, with like my parents, my grandparents, my brother, and it's not the strongest. And the one thing I want from with my kids is I want the relationship with my kids that my wife has with her family. Her mom's her best friend. Her sister's her best friend. Mm-hmm. The family's super close together. We all live within like 5 minutes of each other. It's insane. We see each other. Well, before we couldn't see each other. We see, like, her mom and stepdad walked to our house last night and just stood in our front yard and talked to us from a good distance, and then walked home. Like, yeah. That's been like our weekly thing. And so I decided super early on, I'm like, oh, this is what a family's supposed to be like. I'm like, this is what I want. And so I've made, and I've been so secret time, Kara won't listen to this, so I can talk about it. I put together a montage video of the kids growing up. So I took a bunch of the old footage that we had from like when Emery was born and all the way up until now. And I've been trying to put that together for like the last week and a half, and it's going so slowly because I become an emotional wreck as I'm trying to edit this fucking video because I'm watching my kids grow up, and I'm just like the whole intent behind this video was to make my wife cry. Like, it was obviously I want to give her something nice so she can look back on it and be blah, 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 whatever. I wanted to make her cry because nothing makes me feel better than when I emotionally break her in a good way, because that means I've done my job as a husband. So I wanted to make her cry, but funny story, I think I have cried more putting this video together than she will just watching it one time, because I have to keep watching it over and over and over and over again, and it's been the death of me. But
and you're gonna cry the hardest when you play it forever, because then you're gonna see her reaction. It's gonna make you cry even more.
What if she doesn't cry and nobody else cries, and I'm just sitting there going, fucking, why?
Then just know that if I was there, I would cry with you.
Yeah, you would. I know you would. Oh God.
After I embrace you. So, all right, Josh. Now that we're getting ready to head out of here, let's recap. Where did this one go?
Started off with neighbors. That was our topic, and you talked about neighbor Karen. Karen neighbor Karen. The neighbor from your neighborhood who was a very Karen-y Karen that didn't stop at the stop sign. We went from there to talking about how people are selfish and narcissistic and all about themselves. And we talked about how people shouldn't be using the police for their own personal vengeance and vendettas, especially on Facebook posts. Then from there, we went to talking about, what else did we talk about? Shit, I need to write this down. We talked about my experiences with choking out friends of neighbors before, and how I have really bad experiences with neighbors. We talked about how you didn't think at first that I was a very good family man just based off of my looks and my looks alone. What else? Am I missing
and
anything?
Your horrible personality. Don't forget that.
I don't think we talked about. We talked about how I very safely injected sanitizer into my body to make sure that I was safe. After we get done here, I'm gonna go and It's been sitting out in the sunlight with the UV rays all day, so I'm gonna inject some sanitized
ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and follow us on our social media accounts. You can find me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Kyle King on Air. You can find Josh over on Twitter at Josh Beard Radio. Did you have anything else?
I thought you were the one that was doing the social, so I thought you'd keep going with them. You can find me Josh Beard on Facebook, facebook.com/Josh Beard. You can also find me on Instagram at Toofpete, TOOFPETE, and YouTube, youtube.com/Josh Beard. Also, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna go on it.
You were the one who originally told me we should get on TikTok, and I was the one that was like, nah, I've got enough social media sites. And then
you need to read about the strengths and weaknesses. I'm not a big astrology guy, but for some reason I read about Gemini this last week. Read about the strengths and weaknesses of a Gemini and how to deal with them. And when you read that, you'll understand why I told you to go read that.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm going to send you the link. I'm going to send you that and a link to how to safely inject sanitizer. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much.
Oh, and we have the social media challenge. We're going to get naked in front of our wives and film their reactions.
Film their reactions. It's going to be great. We're going to get laid immediately. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for watching us on Kyle's stuff. Let's see where this one goes. And I feel like we went pretty far on this one. We stayed pretty close to the topic most of the time. It was a good topic, though.
It was a good topic, and it was a lot of fun. And thank you to everybody on my social accounts who came in and watched the show and interacted with us.
George joined.
Yeah, Joey Two Names, baby.
Joey Two Tones. I don't know why I called him that. Anyway, all right. Goodbye, everybody. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.